All right, thanks, guys. Coming off another winning day on my Patreon website. We went 3-2 yesterday in our 5 premium picks on patreon.com/Brock Page. That's going to put us at 17-4 in our last 21 extra daily picks on that site. Of course, the extra daily pick is a package that I offer that's just $2.99 through the end of the month. We have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages. A lot of great stuff on there. We're red hot, guys. We only had like 2 losing days in the past, 2-3 weeks, doing red hot, absolutely on fire in several different categories on that site. And as a matter of fact, the college basketball package, we are 6-1 in our last 7 college basketball package tier picks. So if you want some more information, I highly recommend it. And the link for that site is in the description section below. That is patreon.com/Brock Page. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into Monday's slate of NBA action. Happy Monday to you. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. And we are looking forward to another winning week. Once again, guys, I said earlier, Patreon is red hot right now, so we are looking to improve. But let's go ahead and dive into these free lines of personal leans right here on YouTube. Our first game is the Hornets taking on the Pistons, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Detroit. The Pistons are -2.5, total 211 and a hook. Not a whole lot of movement on this total, although we did see a half a point move toward the Pistons. They open as a 2-point favorite, up to -2.5. Total open and remains at 211 and a hook. Now, Detroit has successfully covered the point spread in 2 out of their last 3. They also went 60% against the spread in their last 5. Now, keep in mind, Rose, Knight, and Morris, they are listed as questionable for tonight's action. But regardless, Detroit ranks in the top 5 in shooting the 3-ball, and they're in the top 10 in defensive rebounding. Now, Charlotte, on the other side, ice cold right now, losers of their last 5 straight. They've also gone just 1-9 straight up in their last 10. They rank dead last in scoring, bottom 3 in offensive field goal percentage. They failed to cover the point spread in 7 out of their last 9. They're also just 8-19 straight up away from home. Now, a couple more things to add about this Charlotte team. They rank the bottom 10 in shooting the 3-ball, bottom 10 in offensive rebounding. They're currently in 13th place in the Eastern Conference at just 16-36 overall for the year, 20 games under 500. They're also 6.5 games back of the 8th seed in the conference as well. One more thing to add about the Hornets. They rank in the bottom 10 in road defensive rebounding. Now, 3 out of Charlotte's last 3 games did get over the number. Meanwhile, Detroit 20-9 to the over on their home court. I'm going to lean Detroit -2.5 and the over 211 in that game. Next contest, Nets taking on the Pacers, 7 o'clock Indiana. The Pacers are -7, total at 220. We saw a half a point fade of Indiana and movement downward on the total. Pacers open 7.5 down to -7. Total open 220.5 down to 220 even. 52% are leaning Brooklyn, 65% shaded toward the over. Right now the Nets are plus 240 on the money line. Brooklyn 4-2 straight up in their last 6. They also successfully covered the point spread in 6 out of their last 8. They have successful covers over the likes of Toronto and Detroit twice during that stretch. Brooklyn ranks in the top 3 in the NBA in offensive rebounding, top 5 in defensive field goal percentage. Spencer Dinwiddie, 21 points a game, 7 assists. Karis LeVert, 15 points a game, 4 boards, 4 assists for him. And Joe Harris, 14 points a game, 4 rebounds for this Brooklyn team. They rank in the top 3 in road offensive rebounding, top 5 in road defensive rebounding. They're currently in the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference, 2 games ahead of Orlando in the conference standings there. Now, the Pacers on the other side, ice cold right now, losers of their last 5 straight. They also failed to cover the point spread in 5 out of their last 7. They rank the bottom 5 in offensive rebounding, bottom 10 in home scoring. The Pacers are just 12-15 against the spread on their home court. And when it comes to the total, the Pacers are 4-0 to the over in their last 4, 7-1 to the over in their last 8. Meanwhile, Brooklyn 60% to the over in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the road dog in this one. Give me Brooklyn +7 and the over 220 in that game. Next matchup, Hawks taking on the Magic, 7 o'clock Orlando. The Magic are -6, total at 220. Not a whole lot of movement on this total, although we did see a half a point move toward the Magic. They opened 5.5 up to -6. Total open end remains at 220. Atlanta 3-0 against the spread in their last 3, 60% ATS in their last 10. They're led by Trae Young, 30 points a game, 9 assists. John Collins, 21 points a game, 11 boards, and 2 blocks. We're looking at an Orlando team on the other side, losers of their last 3 straight. They've also dropped 8 out of their last 9. The Magic rank in the bottom 3 in scoring, dead last in offensive field goal percentage. They're just 9-17 against the spread on their home court, and they're just 22-31 overall for the year. Now, a couple things about Orlando that you may want to think about. They're in the bottom 3 in shooting the 3 ball, bottom 10 in defensive rebounding. They're averaging just 102 points per contest on their home court. Orlando's 3-1 to the over in their last 4. Atlanta, 70% to the over in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the road dog in this one. Give me Atlanta +6 and the over 220 in that game. All right, guys, before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Monday's. I almost said college basketball. Monday's NBA action. Happy Monday to you. Once again, hopefully you had a great weekend, and we are looking to get another week started off right as we are red hot on our Patreon website. Another winning day for us. We went 3-2 in our premium picks on that site yesterday. It's going to put us at 17-4 in our last 21 extra daily picks on that site. And of course, the extra daily pick is a package on that site that I offer that's just $2.99 through the end of the month. We're also 6-1 in our last 7 college basketball tier package plays. Just real quick, if you guys are looking at the comment section on Patreon, a couple guys on there, saying that, I've signed up, haven't been winning, or signed up, and I'm 0-4 in my last, 4 picks, with Brock. And what they're doing is they're not playing all the plays that I put out. They're not playing all the plays that I'm putting out. So if I put like 5 plays out there and 2 of them lose, oh my God, they had the 2 losers. All the 3 that won, they didn't pick. They had the 2 losers. Of course, the day before we go 4-1. Oh, I didn't have any of the 4 winners. I had the one of the losers. So I just want to clarify that for potentially new patrons out there. The record's documented. There's a ton of patrons on there that can back it up and say, yes, this is the actual record. So, if you see any comments on there, I'm 0-100 with Brock's picks on this site, it's just completely erroneous. It just can't happen because it's not the truth. So anyway, just wanted to clarify that. But once again, red hot on that site. And like I said earlier, this is like, we had maybe like 2 losing days in the past 2 to 3 weeks. We're just red hot right now. But anyway, link for that site is in the description section below. Once again, that is patreon.com/Brock Page. Now, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some more, free lines and personal leans right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got the T-Wolves taking on the Raptors, 7:30 Eastern tip-off in Toronto. The Raptors are -10, total at 229. We saw a half a point move toward Toronto. We also saw movement upward on the total as well. The Raptors open 9.5 up to -10. Total open 228.5 up to 229. Now, Kyle Lowry is listed as questionable. Marc Gasol is out. Toronto, 17th in offensive field goal percentage, bottom 10 in defensive rebounding. They failed to cover the point spread in 2 out of their last 3, and they failed to cover in 3 out of their last 6 games as well. So I know they're red hot right now, big winning streak, but when it comes to the number, they haven't been spectacular against the spread. A lot of these, games they are pulling out, in the fourth quarter. Now, a couple of things to add with regard to Toronto. They rank 17th in home offensive rebounding, bottom 5 in home defensive rebounding. So am I saying they're not going to win the game? I am not saying that. But when it comes to this double-digit spread, I think they might be in trouble, covering the double digits, covering that big number. Now, Minnesota on the other side, they're absolutely terrible right now. They've been playing awful. But having said that, we're looking at a Minnesota team who's 13-12 against the spread on the road. They did break the losing streak the other night. Karl Anthony Towns, 27 points a game, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. Jarrett Culver, 9 points a game, 3 rebounds. This Minnesota team, they do rank in the top 10 in offensive rebounding. They also rank in the top 10 in road offensive scoring. So although before their last game they ripped off 13 straight losses, they're not hapless. They can perform. It's just a matter of if they do. Now keep in mind, Russell's questionable. Layman's still out for the T-Wolves. Chance you may not see Russell in tonight's game. But like I said, Minnesota not completely hapless. They've been playing terrible, but this is a big number, especially for a Toronto squad who has ripped off a whole bunch of wins, and several of them by a close margin. So anyway, I'll stop rambling about that. Total-wise, Minnesota 2-0 to the over in their last couple of games, 60% to the over in their last 10. I like Minnesota keeping it at least within double digits. Give me the T-Wolves plus 10 and the over 229 in that game.